Hey everyone, I thought it would be a fun little idea if I just went through Reddit, looked up some unpopular fan theories or opinions on Titanic, not the movie, actual ship, like sinking theories and stuff. I have studied the Titanic for many years of my life. I know everything about it, so I'd like to give my own personal opinion on these things that disprove or approve these opinions or theories. So, let's take a look. My computer's not actually turned on. Alright, first one. Titanic would not have been a memorable ship if she hadn't sunk and wasn't the pinnacle of luxury for the time. I kinda agree with that. Now, Titanic was very well known at the time. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think she was nearly as well known as her sister Olympic, which had come up the year before. Titanic was only like maybe a few inches bigger than the Olympic. They're roughly the exact same ship. I mean, look at these two photos. Tell me if you can think which one. No, you fucking can't. This is Titanic. That's Olympic. You couldn't tell the difference, could you? Unless you're me, or you pay attention. Get off your fucking phone. But Olympic was certainly the more infamous ship. And here's a little fun fact: most of the videos online that claim to be the Titanic are actually videos of the Olympic. Like this famous video of the Titanic supposedly departing from Southampton. That's the Olympic. You can see the little scratch marks that the newspaper guys did to ignore the fact that it said New York, which obviously Titanic didn't get to, because that's where the Olympic was departing. And this iconic photograph of supposedly Titanic's propellers, this is actually Olympic's propellers, and that is the reason why for so long we thought Titanic's center propeller had 4 blades, when really they only have 3. We only found that out in 2008, when a letter was found lighting off all the blades, which is a very interesting fact. So I kind of agree, but Titanic was still very popular, but its sinking just made it blow up in popularity because it's just a horrible tragedy. Alright, so here's something that's wrong. The Titanic and her sister were advertised as being unsinkable by the White Star Line and had a reputation as such before she sank. No, they didn't. This is actually a common misconception that Titanic was advertised as being unsinkable by White Star Line. That is not true. White Star Line did not advertise that at all. She said she was the queen of the seas, and I hear somewhere that she said she was practically unsinkable, but never outright said that she was unsinkable. That came more from newspapers at the time trying to make the Titanic more popular, not from White Star Line at all. It was just newspapers trying to sell more copies, which is also similar to what happened when the ship actually sank, because sometimes the newspapers would try to exaggerate what happened when they didn't actually know. Like this newspaper article, that's the Titanic actually survived and everyone made it out alive, and it was being towed, which did not happen. An officer almost certainly did shoot 1 of 2 of the passengers, and it might have been Murdoch. Here's what I think. I don't believe that. I certainly do think that there probably was an officer who shot himself after shooting 2 of our passengers. There are several people who have accounted that basically word for word, but I don't think it was Murdoch, because we have a lot of accounts on how some people saw Murdoch actually die. Lighthauler, second in command, actually saw Murdoch get swept over by a giant wave as the bridge was going down, which I think is a more likely thing. He got swept over and drowned. But I don't think he shot himself, and that's a common misconception, like the movie, which James Cameron himself has said he regrets majorly. Here's a quick one. The disaster was completely unavoidable, and at the time, not requiring lifeboats for every person made sense. First of all, the first one, yes, that is true. The disaster was very unavoidable. Kind of. Now, it's up to debate whether they could actually just turn around the ice field, but I think it's likely that they could have avoided it had they gone slower or actually had the binoculars. But not requiring lifeboats at the time did not make sense. Now, from a luxury sort of angle, it did, because at the time, lifeboats were taken off ships more and more to give people more area to look around, which is why Titanic actually had more than the requirement amount of lifeboats back then. I'm pretty sure that back then, most ships were only required to have 16, but Titanic had 20 with the collapsible lifeboats just to be nice. Some people think that the third-class passengers were locked behind gates. That's not true, and it's said here too. The gate that they were locked behind was actually located down there. They were actually set free, but they were never trapped behind gates below the decks in the front of the bow, where most of the third-class passengers were. That is just something that was made up by movies and exaggerated to make the story seem more cruel. Aaron 1912's V-Break theory is sound. The 1996 Titanic miniseries is an underrated classic. The coal fire sank the ship. God, I feel so ashamed for typing. Yeah, you fucking should. You should. I'm kidding. The idea at the time was that if you sailed full speed through an ice field, you could pass it through it more quickly. Western Line's shtick was also, we are slower than Cunard, but you will have more fun with us. Now, I don't think a single person, even in the 1910s, thought that ramming straight through an ice field would be fine. I think they probably wouldn't put lookouts on the fucking masts to check. I don't think they would have done that. They didn't think that, oh, if we just bump into it, it's just going to slide off. Nothing's going to happen. No, they wouldn't put the fucking people on the masts. I'm sorry. That's my video. If you want me to do more videos like this, you know, debunking stuff, I'll do it. I think that would be very fun. But that's all I really got right now. And if you enjoyed this, please like, comment, subscribe. Is what I would say if I was a fucking asshole. The type of guy who say that at the end of it, it's like, type your most unpopular Titanic theory. What I want you to write in the comments is to talk about how fucking retarded I am. Anyway, that's it. The model I was using in the background of this video broke off. Fucking nice. Be good people. Bye.